Joining me for reaction in studio is ANC veteran and close friend and comrade of the late Chris Hani, Tokyo Sexwale. Mr. Sexwale, thank you so much for your time this afternoon.
Thanks for having me.
We remember Chris Hani's funeral at FNB Stadium in 1993. Some have said that was the second most rousing political event after the release of Dr. Nelson Mandela from prison. Fast forward 22 years later, his killers seek parole. Are you satisfied today that they did not get parole?
Exactly. That was a great day at that time with that funeral. It's one of the most significant ever to happen in the history of this country. Now, coming about the events of today, they can never satisfy anybody. You know, we're talking here about killers. More than killers, the murderers. All three of them. De Kock, Clive W. Lewis, Ferdinand Bernard. We're talking about cold-blooded murderers. Just this De Kock, for example, he's killed more than 100 people. The bodies are still being hidden and so on. Clive W. Lewis, that one, you know, the story tells itself. But we are a good people. We are not like them. They never gave us a chance. This country was occupied. We were sent to prison. Mandela came out of jail 27 years later. And Chris was killed without warning when we thought we were coming for peace negotiations back at home from years in exile, underground, and prison. So this is the kind of people we're talking about. I'm happy, Dudu, that the minister indicated that this parole, even to this other one, is not a reduction of sentence. One mistake, let the man go back. This is the kind of man who was roasting people, this side, our own comrades, roasting them into ash. Next to that was a braai where they were eating meat. That's the kind of people we are listening today. Is there remorse? The minister says so. We hope so, but don't trust him fully until he shows that all the bodies are accounted for, because I'm told he said he'll cooperate. We don't want to keep these people in prison. I wouldn't want to, I said, speaking somewhere, to be standing on the rotting or dead, dying bodies of our former enemies. Now, this other one who killed Chris, we had said, all of us, there's a time to move on. But we are told by the minister, this man is not telling the truth now. His other people are not telling the truth about his health, and now we understand the stage 4, and the minister has got to comply with that. So we will move on. The country is moving forward, and the minister has taken a very daring step by releasing this one who's killed many, many more people. We are going forward, and we are showing that we are human Ubuntu. We are not like these people. So that's why we say the truth, nothing else but the truth, all the truth. Clive W. Lewis is another story. He could have released himself a long time ago, but we are told even today there's a forgery around how he was, this illness at the hospital. We are told that something has gone wrong even right now when he's supposed to be telling the truth. So one doesn't know. Here's a summary. We are a good people. That's why we fought violence, using violence to stop violence, okay? We are a good people. We're not murderers. We're dealing with killers. We're humane, and there's a time to go forward. But we do so when people are also prepared to bring their side.
From the picture you've just painted, it's very easy to understand why it's difficult and painful to get past some of these incidents. However, the Truth and Reconciliation Commission was supposed, you know, to bring healing and bring people bring all of us together to face these demons head on in the era of reconciliation. Would you say that it has achieved what it had set out to do at the time?
In many instances, it has. In other instances, there's no closure because people still do not know what happened. I'll give you a personal example. So we're not just talking here about being nice because I'm dressed up in a suit. No. There are casualties. Besides Chris, a leader, a friend, a comrade, my own family, the man that I come after, was butchered as well. His body was hidden from us for 12 years. And we found him on a farm in the Eastern Cape, 3 people buried. I didn't raise a storm about that. He was a soldier, he was a fighter. He died in battle. We didn't worry about which special forces shot at him because he was taking them down as well. It was a battle. The bone of contention was, where's our body? 12 years later, the body is there. And the people came forward to reconcile. It was part of reconciliation to show my mother and my old father, who's a soldier himself, World War II, the body of their son. Some of these people today, in terms of what to do, you were asking about the TRC. Some people have used it as a channel to get away. We are aware of that. Some people have fully showed remorse. So we cooperate with those people that do right. But the others, watch them very, very carefully. Because even de Kock, when he goes out, I don't trust him. We've never liked them. We're not celebrating that de Kock is out. There's no celebration. And the families of the close to 100 or more people that he has killed are not celebrating, but then we say there's a time to move on. With people like him, if they show remorse and they tell the truth. But here's the irony of the whole thing and the poetic justice. Is it not strange that these people who butchered us, these who did what they did to Chris, today are begging us to give them the remaining part of their lives? Is that not ironic that the same people who are butchering us today have come to us to beg us to use the law, and we, thanks God, the minister is following the law. He's not doing that because he wants to release anybody. The law says after we've done this, the TRC says all sorts of things. We follow that. We are law-abiding. We are a good people. I hope they realize that. I hope they come to understand that.
You've alluded to a truth that still needs to be told, and you've been quoted several times saying that Clive Derby-Lewis still needs to tell the full truth of what happened. What is that truth you believe that he still needs to tell?
Very important question. There is underlying information that says the two, this Clive one and the other one, Janus, the trigger man, a Polish man who came all the way to South Africa to cause us all this grief. There is a measure of information, amahim, that is not only the two of them. In any case, there was a third one, which was a woman, a former nun, for that matter, the wife of this W. Lewis one, that they didn't act alone. For example, the weapon they used to kill Chris, that gun, was stolen from the Air Force. Now, this weapon was not just like, none of them, all three of them are members of the Air Force. So how did they, so there's no link. Who gave them that weapon? How did they get their hands on that weapon? Where was it kept? How was it stolen? All that information. All we know is that this is the gun that was used to shoot Chris. So it was locked in. These weapons are not just lying anywhere. How did it come out? So who's involved? Who else? There were cars we were told they were moving and using. Some of those cars have disappeared. We're told that they were doing what they call reconnaissance before the action. And there's not one person. So there's a lot that we believe they are not telling. So remorse means I am sorry. Here's the full information. I'm prepared to cooperate. I think I made a mistake. No, they justify the killing of our hero, of Chris. So I believe, I'm one of the strongest believers, there's a time to move on.
Let's talk
However, we move on condition that you tell the truth, nothing else but the truth. But here's a strange thing, and I'll say it because it's painful even if I say it. I used to live in the death cells at the gallows. Now, we don't have the gallows today. They were not sentenced to death, thanks to us, these people that were carrying out death sentences in the States. So they got life sentences, all three of them. Here's this other one, the sick one, we are told, if he's really ill, stage 3 or something. Is it not ironic that the life sentence, which we passed as this new state, the gods have now turned it into a death sentence?
You touched on moving forward and moving past certain incidents. Our history is very complicated and it's full of pain. How then do we build on this rainbow nation that we have dubbed for this country? What does Tokyo Sexwale say for us to not necessarily forget, because you can never forget, but to build?
Let me start with the way you look very beautiful as a person. We don't want to add lines of stress and strains on the beautiful face of this country, where younger people who are not even involved in these things, the new people, the new generation, now have got to get stresses and strains. We want to move forward. That's why we're saying a time to move forward. So we are a people who believe in law, in reconciliation, in making sure that things are done well. But people should understand, we want a good South Africa. We have played our role, and it was during bad times. We want young people to remember people like Chris as heroes who brought them here in the world of technology and all these interesting things that we have. They must remember Chris Hani the way his children can never remember him. You know, they know a dead father, but remember him as a hero, as a father. They must know that there's a new South Africa for them, and that there are people who gave their lives for this. That's the kind of future we are here for.
Thank you so much, and with that, we'll have to leave it there. Much appreciated. Thank you for your time this afternoon. That was ANC veteran Tokyo Sexwale. More of the day's top stories after the short break. Do stay with us.